All right, here's a personal vlog. I haven't done that in quite a while, so this is just to bring those who are interested up to speed about what happened in my life in the past year. It has been almost exactly a year since I was hit by a car. That happened in mid-January 2016, and well, it was quite an event. It threw me back a lot in terms of recovery time and getting in shape and all of that. Uh, for those who don't know what happened there, I was on my way to Blood and Iron sword class, and I was on my bicycle, and I was in the bicycle lane. There was a car standing at a stop sign, perpendicular to the road I was on, and you would think that being at a stop sign, they would wait because I have right of way and all of that. But apparently they completely failed to notice me. I know that some people freak out when they see people on bicycles in the bicycle lane, even though that's exactly what they're made for. And they insist that you have to be on the sidewalk, even though it's technically illegal in Canada. But either way, even if I had been on the sidewalk, that wouldn't have saved me. I ended up in hospital. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. It was a really bizarre, surreal experience because, as far as I'm concerned, my personal, subjective experience, my stream of consciousness, so to speak, was leaving the garage at our place and then suddenly lying in bed in hospital and trying to figure out what happened. Why am I here? What on earth? It was extremely strange because I had a concussion, and that, of course, comes with memory loss. I don't know exactly for how long I was unconscious. Supposedly, I was conscious before that point where my memory kicks in. I even called Kara myself. Had, again, no recollection of that at all. It's also kind of funny that the first thing I said was, "Hey, Kara, looks like I fucked up. I'm in hospital." Such a weird thing that the first conclusion I jumped to, well, I'm in hospital. I must have had an accident. I guess I screwed up, even though it was entirely the driver's fault. But I can be very self-critical sometimes, amusingly so. Either way, so yeah, Kara came to the hospital as soon as possible, and two of our friends were also there. And they said that I was stuck in a loop, basically. I kept saying the same things. Like, I kept saying hell of a way to wake up over and over again because I just lost everything before that. And it seemed to me that I was just waking up again and kept saying the same things until a certain point, the point at which as far as I'm concerned, I woke up then, even though I was technically conscious before. But from that point, I have memory, and from that point, I stopped repeating the same things. So, really weird. It goes to show how fragile consciousness is. So what they found was, aside from the concussion, I had a broken rib and a collapsed lung. And was there something with my ankle too? Some other minor things. But the worst was the separated shoulder. So that's one of the tendons was torn, and that leads to all kinds of issues long term. You can't fully recover from it because the tendon never grows back together. It's just, once that's torn, it's gone. So all the body can do is, build up some muscles around that and compensate. My shoulder blade is still misaligned. It's still, the one shoulder blade is further down than the other. The first couple of nights, I kept waking up with nightmares of, somebody just drilling into my shoulder with some bizarre machinery. And, this is where in your sleep, the pain just starts to wake you up and your brain just constructs something weird out of it. Yeah. Needless to say, it was not a fun experience, and the recovery was pretty long. So there were times when I couldn't even believe that I would fully recover, that I would get back to normal, because my shoulder, like the entire arm and the shoulder were completely messed up and weakened at first. In fact, then when I did physio and some exercises to try to get the arm back functional, I have a one of those wrecking bars lying around. So it's basically a heavier duty, larger crowbar with a hammer on there too. And I was actually using that thing to do some raises and lift it like this. That already was hard on it because it was that messed up and all. So I had to do physiotherapy for several months. And yeah, at times I couldn't believe that I would actually really get better because it was such a slow, frustrating process. But in the end, here I am. The ironic thing is actually about 3 or so months before the accident, I went back to the gym to, get back into shape because I've been through this lifelong process of fighting with overweight. I've been overweight my entire life, and at one time around 2009 and 10, I managed to lose a lot of weight. I went from, I basically dropped, 40 kilos, which is however many pounds, 90-ish, whatever. So I lost a lot of weight and got into pretty decent shape. Then relaxed too much, and I was like, yeah, okay, I did well. Now I can ease up a little bit and enjoy some more of the foods that I like. And guess what happened? I shot up in weight again. And so that was when I made the decision again. So damn, I got fat again. I need to do something. Okay, let's go to the gym. And I did it regularly. And then boom, car to the side of the body, really? Well, I guess head to the hood. That sounds really weird, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And that threw me back completely. And then several months of doing absolutely nothing, having to sit around, doing nothing but physiotherapy as the only form of exercise, and everything else was, even just sitting was a problem. So that, and then in summer, I started going back to the gym in May 2016. At first it was, really low intensity and everything, and then I started increasing it more and more. And then eventually I could also go back to blood and iron and do sword practice again. Then eventually I eased back into sparring. And so things were slowly improving, and eventually I regained full mobility of the shoulder. Again, it still has these weird things. So it's still not back to the way it was. It can't be anymore, but it's manageable now. And yeah, then I again went back to the gym, got more serious about the diet again. And what I'm using personally is my Fitness Pal. It's an app on your phone. So I'm tracking all the calories. I'm tracking everything I eat every day. And that's been working really well since I started that. I dropped 10 kilos. So people have noticed that I look a lot thinner than before. And I'm not noticing it too when I reply to older comments and I see an older video and I'm like, yeah, my face was pretty fat then. That's quite noticeable. So I still have some fat left to shed. I basically want to go another 10 kilos, and then I want to focus on bulking up because that's pretty difficult when you're on a calorie deficit. I have actually noticed some muscle gains, particularly my pecs, but it is limited when you're on a calorie deficit. So eventually, when I'm at the weight where I want to be, I can increase that, and then I'll progress better. So yeah, there's still a lot of work to do. I'm still pretty dissatisfied with a lot of things about my body, but it's certainly better. I'm again at my lowest weight, the lowest I've ever been. So that's a good thing. And otherwise, yeah, people have noticed improvements in my form in sparring. And lately I've had another setback because, ironically, it's really weird. We would think, okay, I got hit by a car. That's pretty bad, chronic injury, that's to be expected. But still, the worst thing I'm dealing with is the chronic knee injury that I got in 2015, which is, that was the one time I got injured in sparring, at the time before I joined Blood Iron, when we were just a bunch of guys trying to figure out sword fighting based on the manuals without proper instruction and all of that. And I had this one, wrestling accident, and that knee, it's a partial ACL tear, and it just keeps coming back all the time. In fact, recently I thought I was over it because I had been several months without any symptoms, no problems whatsoever. I was sparring, I was doing all the exercises, no problem. And then recently, like a month or so maybe, one single misstep in sparring. It got intense, and I did this one bad step where I turned my knee inwards and collapsed it, and boom, pain. And then at that point I knew that, oh crap, are we back at this now? And yes, we are. So now I'm back at the knee problems. So I need to be more cautious now. It's not as bad as it was, but it's back, which is incredibly frustrating because I thought I was over it. But yeah, that's a problem with tendons. They take a very, very long time to heal because there is no blood circulation going through them. So they don't heal the way that muscles or even bones do. And it takes several months to heal, and it takes like a millisecond to widen that tear more. And we're back at that. Anyway, so those are the things that have been going on. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that, again, for those who are interested in that, a bit of anecdotal stuff. Also, as an encouragement. So if you're injured, or if you're dealing with overweight or anything like that, if you want to get in shape and you're struggling for whatever reason, keep at it. I totally understand how hard it can be, how frustrating it can be, how sometimes you just don't believe it yourself that you have any chance to overcome it, but you do. You really do. I mean, people have had a lot worse things and have gone through them. I recently saw a video of a bodybuilder who's struggling with cancer, and he just keeps doing his workouts even though they're very painful and he's struggling, but he's doing it, and you can. That's really the first step. You need to believe that you can. Or you know what? Sometimes even if you don't believe it, even if you don't believe that you can actually do it, still go through the motions, fake it till you make it, basically. Keep at it, and it will get better eventually. So just as some words of encouragement, I hope that helps a little bit. If I can do this, so can you. Anyway, that's it. This is way too long and rambly, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and have a good day, or night, or whatever it is.